Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from Everything Vive. I'm here at E3 2018 and I have the pleasure of speaking with Troy Edwards from HTC Vive. Troy, how are you doing?
Hey, good man. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thank you so much. So what are we here I know we're at the DisplayLink booth. Can you tell us a little bit about what HTC's working on with DisplayLink and what you guys are showing?
Yeah, sure. So DisplayLink is one of our partners on the upcoming Vive Wireless Adapter. And so what DisplayLink does, they make the codec and the chipset that allows you to transmit wireless VR in a low latency, high performance way. And that's part of the technology that's built into the upcoming Vive Wireless Adapter.
Okay, so it's the chipset that like accepts the signal being sent to it, or is
Correct.
that
Okay? Yep, and allows the transmission back and forth. So the great part about Vive is, as you guys know, is you can take advantage of a 15 by 15 play area. Now but we still have heard a lot of people that say, you know what, the number one, I really like the idea of VR, but still I don't like the idea of a tether. So the next thing that we're taking, really trying to knock off is this, go wireless in a premium VR way. And that's what the Vive Wireless Adapter is all about.
Okay, and as far as I'm looking at the setup here, because at the DisplayLink booth, they're offering a wireless demo here, playing Serious Sam. Besides the actual receiver that's attached to the headset, what kind of hardware is required? Are there additional things that you need to hang on your walls, or?
Sure. So it does require a PCIe slot available in your desktop.
Okay.
And then from that, you're going to run out an adapter, which you see up on the wall there. So you see the lighthouses, and then that second looks like a little mini camera.
Yeah.
That is actually picking up the wireless signal that is running back to the PC behind the wall here that you're seeing.
And would you only need one of those?
Correct.
For the player?
It'll ship with one of those, and then it attaches to Vive or Vive Pro in seconds. And then it'll run an external battery into your pocket or onto your belt clip or whatever that might be. And then that battery will power this for about 2 to 3 hours.
Awesome. And as far as installation is concerned, I mean, once you install it onto the headset, is there just a quick software program to run and it just works?
Yeah. So there's a wireless utility that you will install, and that will run in addition to Steam or Viveport when that's running, and then that'll just handle all the transmission.
Okay. And as far as I know, I know it's like a premium product. You guys wouldn't be releasing it if it wasn't, pretty much free. But I mean, in your experience, are there any kind of differences between being wired versus wireless, or?
No, the whole goal is that there is no difference, that you do not notice between them, because on Vive it's really important to us to maintain that 90 frames per second.
Yeah.
And if we wouldn't introduce a product that was going to take that in, because anytime you start dropping frames or otherwise, people might start feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't want to release that product otherwise.
Okay, awesome. And as far as it, I know you mentioned the Vive Pro. It fully supports the higher resolution of the Vive Pro as well as the original.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that DisplayLink is really bringing to the mix, is their codec. It does a really, really great job of taking high amounts of data and compressing it to VR, and then we transmit it back and forth. They've seen really no performance drop-off on Vive Pro.
Okay, awesome. And as far as the setup here, I mean, I know this is a little bit different than what most people will have in their homes, but I know you said that earlier today people were using kind of these chain guns with the demo and all of that. Do you know anything about how the screen setup here works? Or?
Oh, I don't, but I'm happy to pull in one of the DisplayLink guys that built this out to chat about that. The Crow team did build a custom demo for this from Serious Sam: The Last Hope, which you guys have probably seen before.
Yeah.
And so they did do a custom build to kind of enable display space and side by side, so that you can get 2 people in to see this.
Okay.
And so DisplayLink actually reached out to them and said, here's our booth space, here's what's available, what can you help us with? And they came up with the guns, they came up with kind of the custom build as well.
Awesome.
And then we threw wireless on top of it just to really show, the possibilities of that.
Yeah. No, because something I've noticed from playing, I've had a little bit of time with the DisplayLink system, but wireless VR really allows people to behave differently. It's one of those things it's kind of annoying having a wire, but I don't think people fully realize the difference it makes. You actually play completely differently, I think, once you don't have that holding you back. So
we did, before we announced the adapter at CES, we did a survey of about 1,000 wireless VR intenders. People that are expecting to get into VR in some way, shape, or form. 97% of those people came back and said, I expect my headset to be wireless.
Wow.
So, for us, continuously improved the Vive over the original by introducing the deluxe audio strap, by making components a little bit lighter, making the 3-in-1 cable better. We continued that with Vive Pro, upping the resolution, and we think this is really tackling that next obstacle.
Yeah.
Kind of really knocking off those complaints, if you'll call them, about VR, or reasons not to jump into VR today.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Troy. I look forward to trying it out here at the show floor, and hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to somebody from DisplayLink as well.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming by.
All right, thank you. Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from Everything Vive. I'm here at E3 2018, still at the DisplayLink booth, but now I have the pleasure to be speaking with Andy Davis. He is here with DisplayLink, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about the demos that they're showing off here at the show floor, as well as some of the technology behind DisplayLink. Hi Andy, nice to meet you here, and thanks for having me.
No, it's really great to have you here. So, as you mentioned, I'm Andy Davis, Director of Marketing for DisplayLink, so I look after all of our events, outbound marketing, PR outreach and promotions. We're here at the show at E3 because we really want to push the boundaries of what you can do with VR. VR typically is from an experiential point of view, when you're in VR, it's mind-blowing. What we've tried to do here at the show is to actually make it much more inclusive. So, what do I mean by that? Well, we wanted to take it up a level. For the people in VR, they have that fantastic time, but for the queue of people who are waiting, it's like, what's going on? So what we did was we've put in a 5 meter by 2.5 meter LED wall, and we've worked with Crow Team on Serious Sam with a custom build, which enables us to have a third-person camera view external to the game, such that effectively what the experience is, you've got a guy here in the game, he's shooting up monsters as they're coming at him. They're coming at him life-size out of this wall. The guys, in Serious Sam, you have these guys that are carrying bombs, they've got no heads, it's kind of funky. But they're running at you, and they're bigger than you are.
Not to interrupt you, but I've really never seen anything like it. When I came by the booth first to check it out, and just seeing, for those that aren't able to be here to witness it themselves, literally the person that's playing VR is in front of this massive screen, and on the screen, it looks like you're able to see in the real world what the player is experiencing inside the headset, like live in person.
Exactly. So we haven't done what they call a first-person view. First-person view is what you see through the headset.
Yeah.
That's why this third-person camera view has become so critical.
Yeah.
So the game has this. To try and describe it for your listeners, the game has this plate that you stand on in the game.
Okay.
And what we've done is we've been able to extend the plate with the third-person view to effectively make you feel like you're stood behind the guy in the game.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So the guy in the game, he's looking through the headset. Everyone else in the audience is looking around, effectively like being in a theater.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a theater view, and they're seeing these full-scale monsters running at the guy that's in VR. So it becomes really much more inclusive, really much more social, if you will.
Yeah.
From a VR perspective, VR experience perspective. Now, whilst that sounds great, that wasn't enough. So, one thing of being in charge of outbound marketing is everyone always comes to me and says, okay, that's good, but could you press on the gas even harder? So what we've done is to take that up a gear. Serious Sam, for those people who may be familiar with the Serious Sam franchise, the Serious Sam game sequence, Serious Sam has a huge gun called a minigun. This thing is a little bit like a Gatling gun that you can strap around your neck and point at people. It's not the lightest thing in the world.
No.
So we've actually wired up real ones of these with a Vive controller, so the tracking of where the gun is really maps to the game. When you press on the trigger on the real gun is mapped to the trigger on the Vive controller.
That's so cool.
And then as you pull the trigger, the whole Gatling gun end rotates around.
Yeah.
Now, you may say, well, you can't see that when you're in VR, but actually in VR, you see a virtual mapping of that. So when you look down, you see the gun.
And the real gun's moving.
And the real gun is moving, so you're getting that feedback in your hands, which really makes you feel like this is really happening. But then to everyone outside, they're also seeing people carrying this gun, moving this gun around, shooting this gun. And we've found so far it's something like everybody just wants to be a part of.
Yeah, no, I can tell you, when you walk by the booth, immediately you're like, what is this?
Right.
And then you see that screen, you see the, like you said, like I mean, you see a lot of people doing, mixed reality style, like using green screens and all this stuff.
Right.
I mean, this is like in person, being able to watch your friends play VR and really be engaged in the experience.
Right. I mean, a TV experience for this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But, sadly, no one has today a 5 meter by 2.5 meter TV.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Might be a little bit expensive. But, what we've done here is really to try and bring it in for the crowd.
Yeah. No, it's a great way to show. I mean, E3 is all about spectacle, and I think demoing VR can sometimes be hard. I mean, not to poo-poo anything else that I see on the show floor or anything, but I mean, yeah, you walk by the PlayStation VR and it looks like you want to go and play the games,
right.
But you see someone in a headset sitting in a dark room.
Yeah.
This is not that.
This is about the experience,
Yeah.
To me, and I think to DisplayLink, and I think I can probably speak to Vive as well here, is that the experience and the level of immersion, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So when you're in the game, you're fully immersed, and you should be fully immersed.
Yeah.
So, what we've done, of course, is we've got our tech in the headset, which is enabling you to be wireless.
Mm-hmm.
One of the aspects of wireless is that when you don't feel the cable, your immersion level, you're fully immersed.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, traditional gaming, you're in one location. You're not really moving around so much.
Okay.
So, partnering with Crow Team for this one, what we've done is we've enabled this large area, so we have a 30-foot by 20-foot space out there. You can actually run around in there. The technology will track you wherever you move. You can run around in circles, you're not going to tie yourself up at all. But the technology will not drop. So there's a lot of things happening in the background here. We're using a 60 gig connection link, which is running from antennas. We've got the latest Vive antennas up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's connecting down to the headset. So the Vive Wireless Adapter then is on top of the headset. Now the beauty of that is that working with Vive to make this happen, what we've done is we've been able to create a device which effectively you could look at like an accessory. And regardless of whether you're using the first version Vive or the Vive Pro, it doesn't matter. What they've done, which is really unique, is they've put connections on the front. So the first version Vive, the 3 cables came out of the front of the headset.
Yeah.
And you can pop up that little lid, pull out those 3 cables. They send you, when you buy the Vive Wireless Adapter, there's going to be a new cable loom.
Okay.
You could drop that in and run with the Vive version 1.
Okay.
If you've bought a Vive Pro, the cable loom's different. So they've got a custom cable loom, a little bit different, really nice on the Vive Pro. That cable goes around and goes into the back.
Okay.
So the same module can run with the Vive or the Vive Pro. And that's fantastic because, you're likely to see a lot of people who are going to migrate from one to the other.
Yeah.
Now, technology-wise, if we look into the depths of this for a second, between the Vive and the Vive Pro, those guys are pushing like 78% more pixels.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Now, we talk about levels of immersion. That takes it to a new level. Add in then on the Vive Pro, you've got surround sound, 3D sound.
Yep.
Now, obviously behind us, you can hear the game going on here. We've brought that 3D sound into the gameplay area as well. So in this theater environment, we've also got 3D sound happening. So when you're in there, you can hear it, but again, everyone else around is getting that 3D effect happening.
That's awesome, and it's different than having just a 5.1 setup in your house. Like
Right.
it's the three dimensionality as far as like being accurate to where you're standing in the room with that third person camera probably makes a big difference.
Oh yeah,
right?
hugely. I mean, the beauty. Again, we've got the Vive Pro, we've got the base station 2s, which are beautiful. They track you perfectly, so we know where the person is all the time. The audio knows where the person is, so we can map that in 3D space. The headset has 3D audio, so the guy can clock that down, and he's not going to hear the crowd when they're screaming and shouting outside and having a lot of fun. But the outside guys can all enjoy the experience together. And I think that's really what it comes to making a really great show.
Awesome. And as far as, getting back to the technology behind DisplayLink, the wireless adapter itself, was it a challenge adapting the hardware to work across the Vive and Vive Pro, like for the resolution differences that you talked about, or was
That's a great question. So our background, DisplayLink's background, is actually doing corporate enterprise solutions.
Okay.
So for years, most people would know us from adapters and docking stations that you may have in a corporate environment. We first set out to solve the problem of multiple displays on notebooks and things like that, where you can't take it apart and add in a big graphics card. It's not like the PC model.
Yeah.
So that's actually our background. So multiple displays and productivity is something we've always done. And how does that map into the VR space? Well, if you look inside the VR headset, you've still got multi-displays. You've got 2 displays, one for each eye now.
Yeah.
So that to us was like, well, we've kind of done this forever.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, the way we built our solution is very much a custom codec. So we don't use anything that's, a standard JPEG or anything like that out there. We're not, some people call the technology screen scraping. You take an image of a frame of a video and send that frame.
Okay.
That's not what DisplayLink does. We've built it from scratch, and we built it in a way that can dynamically adjust. Now, this is very, very important when you come to do things like wireless gaming. Because the reality is, on the wireless headset, you have 2 antenna arrays. And as you're moving around, you're not in a static position. So as you're moving around, the bandwidth changes as the user moves. Now, the easiest way for me to explain this is this isn't Netflix. You're not streaming to a buffer and then playing a video.
Yeah.
This is live gaming.
Yeah.
There's no room for latency.
Yeah.
So what we have to do here is actually we dynamically adjust as the bandwidth changes. We can change what we're sending in flight. We can send partial updates, part of screens, pixels, whatever.
And is the receiver what's determining? Like, how does it? What determines what bandwidth is?
How does this work?
Yeah.
So inside the headset, there is a radio antenna, and for this particular one, it's an Intel-based radio antenna, and that's working in the 60 gig spectrum.
Okay.
Behind that, so all of the signal that's beaming in beams over 60 gig. When it gets into the headset, it then hits a DisplayLink chip. And the DisplayLink chip then takes that codec data, decompresses it in real time, and sends it to the 2 panels for your left and right eye. At the same point in time, the antenna knows kind of where you are. 60 gigahertz has beamforming, which enables to track you a little bit, and the beam will kind of follow you around, and it determines based on signal strength what's going on. We can look at that, and there's a lot of metrics behind here. There's a lot of rocket science behind here.
Yeah.
But there's data on the antenna that we take into the input on how we adjust our compression, combined with the content happening in the game, and how we need to compress different elements, maybe to a different level. And we do all of that in real time at a subframe level. So we're not like a some people call it light switch technology, where you're compressing or you're not compressing.
Yeah.
For us, you can think of it like lots of different gears of a car, or hundreds of layers. We can notch up one by one, or we can jump to any compression layer that we need to deal with a specific area in real time, in flight. And there's so many areas that we can adjust, and we do that, and that's kind of the IP and the custom pixie dust, if you will, behind the tech.
And just curious, like, is the hardware behind it smart enough to kind of so the differences between the original Vive and the Vive Pro, for an example, obviously those are going to be sending quite a bit different, huge amount of different data. Did you have to go in there and really make sure that one was effectively working versus the other, or does it I'm kind of thinking more for future proofing, like for products down the line, does the hardware react to the data set no matter what you're kind of putting in, or is it
part of the solution from DisplayLink is, probably the best way for me to explain this is like scalability. So if I bring an analogy across to the enterprise side, you may today have 2 1080p monitors on your screen, and you hope to get a 4K.
Yeah.
We already have that scaling capability built into our technology, but you can take a docking station, for instance, from Dell or Hewlett Packard today that uses DisplayLink technology.
Yeah.
You can daisy chain another one. So you could go from 2 4K to 4 4K just by plugging in another device. the scalability is inherently built into our chips and inherently built into our software. So much so that just last month at Interop, we showed 8 4K displays connected over a single USB 3.1 Gen 1.
Wow.
So 5 gig per second driving 8 times 4K.
Yeah.
So, what does that tell you? Well, that tells you we have a ton of headroom.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the Vive and the Vive Pro, there's a huge difference. 78% jump is not small.
Yeah.
And the data is moving at a different rate. We're talking a difference of 60 frames per second to 90 frames per second moving from standard PCs through to VR.
Yeah.
So the data we're pushing is immense.
Yeah.
However, what we did on our VR chipset, which is the 8020 chipset, when we designed this chipset, we designed to have multiple generations of headsets supported. So in actual fact, before we even had line of sight to the Vive Pro, we built the tech to have that scalability built in. And it's kind of what we do. Building a chipset today that only has 1 gen would be a mistake. You wouldn't really be, we're a world leader in our position, and we're there because we build in that scalability. And we're renowned for that scalability. So moving from Vive to Vive Pro actually was kind of a simple, plug it in, couple of tweaks, boom, you're done. No change on the hardware.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
software was an update, and we can always update software.
Okay.
We have a fantastic software team, so that flexibility to us wasn't a blocker at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome. That's great information. And I don't know, have you guys announced like a release date or pricing or anything like that yet? Or
so that really is over to Vive. The end products are going to be Vive products for this particular one. We typically don't tread on their toes when it's regards to the product level. Our job here primarily is marketing and promotion of the experience and the product. It's going to be coming to market really soon. What you're seeing here are from my understanding, absolute production-ready units. But pricing will be announced really, really soon.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the in-depth explanation of how all this tech works, and I'm excited to go and try it again for myself.
Terrific. Ronnie, it's great to catch up. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andy.
Cheers.